Not into long podcasts. Don't worry, we've got bite sized clips just for you. This is CWN Clips. Please don't forget to subscribe. So you've been deeply involved with PediSTARS and IPSS, and I know there are a lot of I mean, even for me, when I started looked at the especially on the field of simulation, what why it is required and what how it helps the doctors, and it's a very eye-opening kind of a, I mean, for me, I know there was simulation centers and mannequins and exist, but I think how much of the impact it is actually doing to the medical society and also the doctors, that's pretty eye-opening for me to even learn. So I thought, how did you start that as an initiative, and how what was the moment you felt, okay, hey, this is something which I want to really drive forward in India, and in bringing simulation as an important part of the training for the doctors?
Thank you for that question. So, when I was in the UK and I trained, simulation probably started becoming part of the mainstream education, especially for critical care, maybe around 2007, 8,
Hmm.
something like that. And then it became a little bit more like structured, probably by like around 2011, 12. Okay. And I happened to look after a patient who was like the child of a simulation director in my hospital in London. And I was in the process of learning how to set up a PICU because I was anyway planning to relocate to India. And when I was doing all of that, I went through some simulation drills and everything, but I wasn't quite sure how structured I was doing it. So I happened to chat up with him, and he said, "You know what, I'll get you to become a trainer." And so he trained me. And just after that training, I had to relocate to India. So I had the skills, I had the knowledge of how to do it. But when I came to India, I realized that, there were a lot of myths about simulation. The thought was there are something called life support courses that happen, and people always thought that these life support courses are enough, and that is what is simulation. So we have something called the PALS, which is the Pediatric Advanced Life Support. So they thought you just do that, you're an instructor there, that means you know simulation, and that's how they thought. And it was a very, very narrow approach, which I thought. So when I came back, I found that even in my day-to-day practice, there were so many things that which were more like what we call non-technical skills or human factors that actually defines the way we care. Some simple examples for, you make a plan after your ward rounds, and then you expect, you communicate that to your team around you, and when they nod, you know that they have understood. That's a non-verbal method of understanding, is my presumption. And then when you step out and you come back, hardly like 10 or 20% would have been implemented, and you keep wondering, well, is there a reason why these were not done? And then there's always being like that nod, and you just kind of assume what is going on. So I struggled quite a lot, especially because I was in the UK for 14 years, and when I came back to India, I just couldn't readjust to this. And and there's like a work ethic which is there in the West, which is like, very professional. You make a plan, you complete that, you talk back and you say, yes, this is done. And that's the work ethic. And we didn't have that here at that time when I came. And I struggled quite a lot to understand why this was happening. So I thought that probably we should be doing something structured in such a way. And when I looked around, there was nothing like, people, as I told you, there's a lot of myths about simulation. And they said that, you're using mannequins, which are very expensive. They are like almost, 40, 50 lakhs, that expensive mannequins that are there. And people said, no, these are all like not for us. We learn on real patients. This is India. If mistakes happen, it's just about like, a matter of luck, these kind of things. And these myths were like very disturbing for me as a relocated clinician. And I thought that, I need to like really focus on this and contribute something, on our own. So I had a couple of very good friends whom I kind of connected, and so that's how we started PediSTARS. So the aim was not to just, one, to like train the workforce so that there's a structured way of doing things, and focus on the human factors so that we improve that aspect of care, rather than just, like medically, we are all trained. We know we have to give this nebulization or this medication or this antibiotic, but do I know how to give it? Do I have a process of cross checking? How do I ensure that I've given the medication to the right person at the right dose at the right time? Who's
Yeah.
there to follow me up? Who's there to track me? How do I ensure that this has happened? So those type of things need a lot of refining, and simulation is one of the best ways to do it. So that's how we ended up starting this PediSTARS. The aim was to initially kind of deliver a little bit of confidence to the competence, and to improve that competence as well through simulation. So that's how we ended up starting PediSTARS. And then we had a lot of global collaboration with two such societies called Society of Simulation in Healthcare. They've been doing it for many years, and they do interprofessional training and everything. So it was a good collaboration to have. And also the IPSS, I think that was like in the nascent phases of becoming an international society. So we grew with them together. Let's put it that way.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
So
So,
that's the reason how we got simulation into India.
this is just a glimpse of one of the many conversations we've had in this channel. If you found this thought provoking, please don't forget to subscribe and explore more insights from unfiltered voices and the real world experts. And please don't forget to like and share this video to as many people as possible. It keeps us going. See you in the next one.